What is up, Master Jason here? So the price of Bitcoin has been going above $30,000 and then the next day below $30,000. It's been kind of back and forth, and it's consolidating a lot around the price of 29,000, 30,000. Just consolidating more and more around those prices. Now, something that's different this time around than it was back in 2021, where if we were to see the price of Bitcoin going down to $30,000, we would see there being a lot of support of that $30,000 price, and the price of Bitcoin will trend back up a little bit. This go around, it's a bit different. And one thing that's really changed this time is that we're also seeing a lot of these big Bitcoin miners like Marathon Digital, Riot Blockchain, publicly traded companies that mine Bitcoin. They are unloading their Bitcoin. They're unloading some of their Bitcoin. Not a whole lot in comparison to how much Bitcoin they have, but they have been actually selling it. And this is much different than it was last year. And one of the reasons why behind this is the fact that the hash rate of mining Bitcoin, so the difficulty of mining Bitcoin, has not really changed much. And that's something that we want to cover today. So as we get to it, if you don't mind, please do me a huge favor. Please be sure to smash, destroy, annihilate, or gently press the like button. Help me out with the algorithm and help spread this content to more people that might find it interesting. And subscribe if you have not already. Let's get to it. So for the people that are unfamiliar, the hash rate is the difficulty of mining a Bitcoin. So the higher the hash rate, the more energy that is used to mine a Bitcoin. So the more cost that is put in to mine a Bitcoin. But if we were to look at this graph here, and we were to look at May of 2021, how the price of Bitcoin had went from a price of around $60,000, and then in a week going all the way down to $30,000. That's a much bigger crash in Bitcoin than what we just recently seen. And the price of Bitcoin lost, half its value at that time. And this also made a lot of the Bitcoin miners to unplug their rigs. And it just wasn't worth mining with the price of Bitcoin going down that much that fast and the amount of energy that it needed to be able to mine Bitcoin. So it wasn't worth it for them. So the hash rate became quite significantly easier after that. And the hash rate had stayed continuously, gradually going easier and easier all the way to the point of July of 2021, where the hash rate had started going back up. But even in November of 2021, the hash rate at that time was still easier. The difficulty was still easier than it was in May of 2021. So something interesting there that happened. And so after November and December of 2021, then January, February, March, April, May of 2022, the hash rate never changed. The difficulty still kept going up and up and up, but the price of Bitcoin kept going down and down and down. And this is something that really hurt the Bitcoin miners, because this is what has led them into selling off their Bitcoin. And now with the hash rate starting to become easier, this could also be a good sign of some potential uprise in the price of Bitcoin. Now, and just to show you the hash rate here, this is the chart of the hash rate. Seeing how in May, when it had reached that high, and then how it just started to get easier and easier, and then in July, and then gradually going up. So in November, it was still significantly cheaper to mine Bitcoin than it was in May of 2021. And it's just look at it, January, February, March, April, May, it just kept getting harder and harder. So the hash rate just kept going up and up and up and up. So the cost of mining more Bitcoin was going up, but the price of Bitcoin was going down. And that's another thing that we have to think about. And not a lot of people will, even on YouTube or on other podcasts I've heard, say anything about this, about the hash rate. I really haven't heard anybody talk about that. And this is something very important that is worth talking about. Now, one of the reasons why the hash rate of Bitcoin is still going up, even though the price of Bitcoin has been coming down, is due to the fact that there's still a lot of miners mining Bitcoin. And that's because in certain parts of the world, it's really cheap for energy still in comparison to how it is in the United States and other countries. But some countries that have some geopolitical things going on that I'm not really allowed to talk about, due to monetization reasons, they are mining more Bitcoin right now because it's beneficial for them to be mining Bitcoin. And so there's a lot of rigs currently online and mining a lot. And this is really affecting some of the larger publicly traded Bitcoin miners. So look at Marathon Digital, one of the top Bitcoin miners, publicly traded company, ticker symbol MARA. Now, Marathon Digital at Bitcoin's high in November was trading for around $83 a ton. That was its 52-week high, $83. And then look at the price of Marathon Digital stock now, $8.80. It's dropped down significantly. So of course they would be unloading their Bitcoin now and raising some money, because the shareholders, they wouldn't like it if they were to dilute the shareholders right now at these lower stock prices. This would be bad for them to do such a thing. So they have to be unloading some of their Bitcoin to start raising some money that way, to be able to start buying some more rigs and hope that the price of Bitcoin will continue to go up. Now, the other large Bitcoin miner, Riot Blockchain, they over the last 52 weeks, they were at a high of $46, and now they're trading for around $6.21. But in February of 2021, Riot Blockchain stock was at around $80 a share at a high. So things are much different now. Things have really come down significantly. When the price of Bitcoin drops half its value, we see these stock prices drop down, 10 times their value. So it's a big different trade-off. But then if you were to see the price of Bitcoin go up, I'm sure you would see these stocks go up significantly as well, at a much higher rate than the price of Bitcoin would. So it's a give or take, however you want to take it. But of course, a lot of risk involved with these Bitcoin miners. And these were something that I was very much into a lot in 2021. If you guys had watched those videos, I talked about them a lot. But now the price of their stocks is just not worth as much as they were back then. It's a lot more bearish. They've gotten a big hit with the price of Bitcoin going down, and of course, their whole value of their company is based off of what the price of Bitcoin is. So that has a lot to do with it. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. So it's no surprise that they're really selling off a lot of their Bitcoin to raise more money, because they can't dilute their stock. They can't put more shares out there to raise more money that way. It's just going to hurt them even more. It's going to devalue their company a lot. So they have to start unloading some of that Bitcoin. And that's part of what we're seeing right now. That's part of why we're seeing a lot of Bitcoin going out in the market, is because these Bitcoin miners that have a lot of Bitcoin on hand are starting to get rid of some of it to raise money, because that's their only option at this point. So as we're seeing a little bit of a drop in the Bitcoin hash rate, it's not enough. It's not enough to make much of a difference. It needs to go on a big drop like it did back in May of 2021 to make it beneficial for the miners. Otherwise, I think that we would just see more and more Bitcoin continue to sell off. But anyways, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. I wanted to talk about this because I think this is a subject that is definitely worth talking about. So with that being said, please like, share, comment, subscribe. New content coming out all the time. Thank you for watching and listening. See you in the next one.